In your opinion, what's the biggest NFL obstacle for solving concussions?
Biggest obstacle, I think, would be the mindset of players.
Okay, what does that mean?
As much as they have everything in place possible to, they have people who actually watch. They watch every player. Like I think there's one up in the booth, and then there's, we have a number of doctors on the sidelines watching concussions. The helmets and the pads are as safe as anything you can possibly get them at this point.
Yeah.
But players feeling comfortable self-monitoring, and if you have one, telling somebody about it.
How many
saw
have
with
you had?
Calvin. I've had 2.
Did you learn from the first one the symptoms for the second one?
It was different, completely different. The first one I had a bizarre metallic. One eye went metallic. I could only see out of my right eye.
What?
Yeah.
What happened? You
I got
the
hit.
turf?
We were playing Washington. I got hit by like 3 guys on a blitz. London Fletcher came around, and he was one of 3 guys who kind of hit me.
Yeah.
Side of the head, and
And you lost sight in your left eye.
yeah, like it was just metallic. It was like a silver metallic on the left side.
That happened to me once, but I was high.
Yeah.
It wasn't a concussion. I was at a concert.
Nice. What concert?
I lost sight in both eyes.
Yeah.
The worst part was it was Fleetwood Mac.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So what happened with the second concussion?
Second one, I was knocked out for a
Just
split
out?
second. For a split second, and I got up, and my chin strap was like across my nose, and you can see Gene Steratore, one of my favorite referees, and he kind of comes over to me and he's like, "Hey, you okay?" And I don't remember this, but I'm like, "Fine, I'm fine."
Right.
So then there was a timeout called, went over the sideline, and I think I waved, I'm good. It's just kind of what's built into you. Then I went back out there for a couple plays. I didn't know, I couldn't call the plays, and we ended up, getting me out of there.
You couldn't call the plays?
I called the play because they would recite it from my helmet.
Yeah.
And I remember, the only thing I remember about that sequence was I was under center, and I didn't know if it was a run or a pass. And Mike and I laugh about this. It's not funny to play for a concussion. It's not safe. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
But we laughed because it was a hard play fake to the right, and I had the post runner wide open for a touchdown. But I didn't know if it was a run or a pass. So I kind of moved backwards and then held it and got sacked, and then that was it. I came out again.
I remember Jamal Charles in that playoff game was the first time I remember he got a concussion, came out, all of a sudden it's like, wow, Jamal Charles isn't coming back, and this is a playoff game. And that was like the tipping point.
And when you're competitive, you the last thing you want to do is come out of a game, regardless of what kind of injury. Whether it's an ankle, a knee, a rib, or a head injury. That the head injuries are obviously more dangerous, but it's that mindset is wanting to play through those kind of things. And until that mindset changes, there's going to be guys like Calvin who come out and say, I played through a lot of concussions.
Do you think is it ever totally solvable? It just seems like the speed of the game, just the way it's constructed, guys are going to run into each other at high speeds. I don't see how we solve it. We've made it safer. We've made it so that the receivers aren't getting crushed over the middle anymore and things like that. Quarterbacks aren't getting hit when they're not looking. But you're still going to get stuff.
It's part of it. It's going to be part of it. I think you need to start thinking about how you can treat those guys who've dealt with concussions. I think there's got to be some ways we can start naturally helping those guys who either have CTE or prime examples of people who will have CTE, and we need the scientific community to kind of step up and lead the way there, because there's I know there's some ideas that are in trial right now that about using for guys that have suffered with those kind of things, but that's what we need, because we can't have any more situations like we've had the last 10 years where you're having guys either take their own lives or end up passing, and they're been dealing with this on a major level, and then have a league that doesn't recognize that there's a connection and we need to do something about it. If we can't do anything else with the player safety, which they're doing a ton, taking care of guys who are in dangerous positions down the field and quarterbacks and guys who are in compromised situations, and we need to look at what's going on in the back end and how we're taking care of our guys who are moving on, who've dealt with a lot of head injuries.